Can an AI be your therapist? It's a question we're refacing head-on as technology barrels into one of the most human domains: mental health. The MIT Technology Review recently published a fascinating piece called The Ascent of the AI Therapist, and it dives deep into this very topic. Let's unpack what they found. First, let's set the stage. Right now, we're smack dab in the middle of a global mental health crisis, and it's affecting so many of us. There just aren't enough human therapists to meet the soaring demand. It can take weeks, even months, to get an appointment, and the cost can be a major barrier for many. This is where AI enters the picture, promising a solution. Imagine having access to mental health support 24/7 right from your phone, often for a fraction of the cost of traditional therapy. Sounds amazing, right? AI therapy is being hailed by supporters as a game changer for mental health. Some folks really believe that AI can step in and make a difference in healthcare. It's like having a buddy who's always there to help, especially for those stuck on long waiting lists. How cool is that? Think of AI chatbots as a first line of defense, a way to triage and support people with mild to moderate symptoms. For some folks, chatting with an AI feels way less scary than talking to a person. It's like having a buddy who won't judge you, you know? The anonymity can help reduce the stigma that, unfortunately, still surrounds mental health. These AI tools could democratize mental health care, making it accessible to millions who currently have no other options. They could also help overburdened healthcare systems by handling initial assessments and providing ongoing support. This lets human doctors spend more time on the tricky cases that really matter. Before we rush to download that shiny new therapy app, let's pause for a sec. There's a serious flip side to this whole thing, you know? This article points out some big red flags that we definitely shouldn't overlook. What happens when an AI, which is essentially a complex prediction machine, gives harmful or nonsensical advice? We've all seen chatbots go off the rails. Now imagine that happening when someone is in a vulnerable state, seeking help for anxiety or depression. The consequences could be devastating. There's this one book in the article that shares a wild story about a therapy bot giving some seriously dangerous advice to someone. Can you believe that? That's not just a made-up risk. It's something we really need to face head-on. Privacy is a big deal these days, right? Everyone's talking about it. When you pour your heart out to a therapist, you expect confidentiality. But when you're talking to an AI, where does that data go? Your deepest fears, your insecurities, your personal struggles, all of this becomes data. This data is incredibly valuable to corporations. It can totally help train better AIs, for sure. But on the flip side, it can also be used to hit you with ads or even sold to other companies. Yikes! Your vulnerability could totally be turned into something that people want to buy. The article warns that these AI therapy systems are embedded in economic and surveillance systems that might not have your best interests at heart. Are we really trading our privacy just for a bit of convenience? And is that the price we're okay with paying for our mental health? It's a big question, right? The debate isn't actually new. The MIT article reminds us that back in the 1960s, a computer program called ELIZA was created to simulate a Rogerian psychotherapist. Its creator, Joseph Weizenbaum, was horrified when he saw people, even his own secretary, forming deep emotional connections with this simple program. They totally got that it was just a machine, but still, they shared their secrets like it was a real friend. Weizenbaum warned that relying on computers for tasks requiring human wisdom and compassion could erode our own judgment and empathy. His warning from over 50 years ago is more relevant today than ever. Are we seriously risking our emotional lives by letting algorithms take over? Another critical point is the very nature of therapy. Is therapy just an exchange of information and techniques? Or is it about the human connection, the empathy, the shared understanding? Isn't it amazing when someone really sees and hears you for who you are? A lot of experts believe that the connection between therapist and client is what really drives change. Can an AI, no matter how sophisticated, truly replicate that? An AI doesn't have lived experiences. It can totally mimic empathy by picking up on language patterns, but it can't really feel empathy like we do. In our excitement to jump on the AI bandwagon, we might forget just how important that human touch is when it comes to care. It's super crucial, as a matter of fact. We might start to believe that a conversation with a machine is a substitute for a genuine human connection, not just a supplement to it. This leads to a really important question about the future of psychiatry and psychology. If we become too reliant on AI for diagnosis and treatment plans, we risk weakening the clinical judgment of human therapists. Doctors and therapists might just turn into technicians, you know? That's kind of scary, overseeing the AI's recommendations rather than using their own intuition, experience, and nuanced understanding of the patient sitting in front of them. Therapy is such a powerful tool, but it feels like we might lose it, taken over by the cold, hard logic of an algorithm. So, where does that leave us? AI therapists aren't just neutral tools. They come with their own biases and quirks. Companies create these systems, and the economy they operate in totally shapes how they work. It's tough to make real progress without solid rules, clear ethics, and strong protections in place. The push to scale up AI therapy might sound great, but honestly, it could do more harm than good. It probably won't really expand access to care, like we hope. But instead, let's set up a two-level system that's way easier to follow. In this future, those who can afford it get real human-centered care, while everyone else is left with a chatbot. This isn't expanding care. It's really shutting down the options for people who need help the most. We need to approach this with a healthy dose of humility. We really need to be straight up about what AI can do and what it can't. It can be a super handy tool, especially for sharing cool info with friends. Teaching coping skills or providing support during those little stressful moments can be super helpful. Just remember, it's not a substitute for chatting with a real therapist. We really need to push for clear answers on how these apps are using our data. We really need to push for rules that keep patients safe and their info private, not just focus on making money. The ascent of the AI therapist is a perfect example of a broader dilemma we face with technology. It offers incredible promise but also carries significant risks. Being critical consumers and informed citizens is super important for all of us. We need to ask the tough questions and demand that technology serves humanity, not the other way around. In our journey for cool tech solutions, let's keep it fun and simple. Let's not forget what really matters, our shared humanity and the magic of real connections. It's all about coming together and feeling that bond. Thanks for watching. If you found this interesting, consider liking the video and subscribing for more deep dives into the intersection of technology and our lives. Stay curious and stay critical. Stay tuned for the next big dilemmas for the intervention of AI in our lives. See you in the next video.